Welcome to Everything House Music and More, ladies and gentlemen. And today's special guest, we have my man Kevin, Abdullah and Hans Chery. How y'all doing this morning, brother?
We're doing fine.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have y'all, man. We've been talking, and it's about the history and the house culture. And I just want to know, y'all ready to get into it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hey, brother, so let's do it. So here we go. First question. You both are first hand-on experience of representatives of house culture, dating back before it was even widely called house. Do you consider yourselves first generation, and where do you or who influenced you to become that?
Well, you interviewed Lionel Brazil, right?
No, not yet.
Well, those guys you did interview because I saw it.
Who?
He's the model, Lionel Brazil.
No, I did not interview him yet.
Who did interview him? Because he was talking about
Probably Lloyd Branch.
No, it might have been there.
Yeah.
But Lionel Brazil, you had Easy Car,
Okay.
Lionel Brazil, my sister, my brother Leslie. Those the people. It was a guy named Glenn Doherty, went to Mendel.
Okay.
Those are the guys that influenced me and got me into coming out to those type of parties.
Right. Mr. Kevin?
Well, I started out basically with a guy named David Harrison. He was kind of a DJ that did the CVS sock hops back then and things of that nature. And my brother and I were the heavy lifters, the crate carriers and the speaker.
Right.
So we did the heavy lifting.
Right.
But in turn, we were able to kind of get an idea of the music that he was playing, and we enjoyed that. Plus, we got a whiff of the parties that were going on at Aquinas and places like that, places like the Loft where Tony Hatchett was playing.
Okay.
And ended up attending those. Right. And then was hooked ever since.
Nice. So what year did you start going to parties then?
Okay, so I can only, because it's been a long time.
Okay.
I would start to say about 78. Round thereabouts, and that and the pendulum can go either towards 77 or 79. Okay, but to kind of rough it is about 78.
78, and then can you describe those parties and what music was called back then?
I don't think it had I think they were maybe calling it disco, but I could be wrong. But the thing about it was that it was this multicultural of different genres that were being played. Right. So there wasn't you couldn't hold it. Yes. It was just, Gino Socio and church music. Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart. So it was just this multicultural montage of different music, man.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the more organized parties. What were the key spots in the beginning, and what were some of the records from that time?
You had,
the Penthouse, Sawyer's.
First you had First Impression. You had the Mansion on 47.
Right.
Okay.
You had the high school parties.
Right.
Like Quigley South, Aquinas, Elizabeth Seton. Mm-hmm. Those places had major parties.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
And music wise, like I said, you had Ring My Bell, Rod Stewart, If You Want My Money, and you think I'm saying, you had those kind of records that were hits, you can ring my bell. I mean, all type of stuff. So it was a lot of stuff being played.
Stars on 45.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that one. Yeah.
Martin Circus, Walk the Night. I mean, there was a lot of things that were being played back then.
Yeah. So a lot of the older stories imply teens had a lot of freedom back then. How did your parents feel about you being on the scene like that, and would you allow your kids to do the same at this time?
Let me jump on that one.
So
go
believe
ahead,
it or not,
go ahead, Hans.
I was one of the livest guys in the city that had to sneak out the house.
Really? Wow.
He wasn't the only one.
Right.
So, as a matter of fact,
so it was like a Steve Hurley type of thing where he had to sneak out.
So my friends used to wait in the yard for me to come out the window.
Oh wow!
So we can go hang out.
Okay.
And like I said, my sisters and them, they knew I could dance, so they used to take me to the parties.
Right.
Then I got hooked.
Okay.
You know, like you had High Chaparral, places like that was playing that kind of music.
Okay.
And that's how I got into it. As a matter of fact, this like my brother for life, because we both got kicked out because I had him still.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, to be honest with you, going out to the clubs that were ended at 2:00, I believe that my mother was somewhat okay with that,
right?
Because I don't remember getting a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
The problem came in is when I started going to 206 and the power plant, which didn't start until 12 and ended up until the morning.
Right.
Yeah,
10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so that's when I was vacated from.
So Kevin, how old were you at that time then? Give me a time frame.
Okay, I'm 61 now.
Okay.
Just to give you the math.
Yes, sir.
I think I was around 18.
Okay.
Don't quote me on these things, but I know for a fact how old I am.
Absolutely.
Right now. So yeah.
Hans, what about yourself? How old were you at the time?
I started when I was 13.
Okay.
Party. But 206, I went there one time.
Okay.
I didn't feel comfortable.
Okay.
So I did everything but went to 206. Now, when the music box and those places open, in the power plant, I was there faithfully.
Okay.
But 206 wasn't my thing.
Your thing. Okay. So in the house culture, there's a lot of emphasis on who was there and who wasn't. Can you name some of the people who were there in the beginning?
Benson,
Michael Benson.
Okay.
6'3".
Yeah.
Karen McCormick.
Jackie, Adrian Johnson.
Yeah.
Darren.
Yeah.
Darren and his brother
Aisha Mays.
Aisha Mays.
Okay.
You have accountants.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many people.
Man, and it's kind of hard when you get put on the spot. I wish you would have told us in advance. We could have had a large list.
No, I got you. I
mean, you have people that Eric and Paul Wilkins. You have people that's not even mentioned that were intricate.
Yes.
Intricate.
So I need you to name some of those people, Hans, and tell them what part did they have in this, man.
Oh, they were throwing parties also.
Okay.
They were more in the High Park range, and those were the people, when you heard about Eric and Paul Wilkinson or one of them, you had to be at their parties because they had the girls.
Right.
They had followers.
What about Karen McCormick's brother?
McCormick, Al
McCormick.
You had Marvin Terry.
Right.
Yeah.
You had so many people that built this.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the funny thing is, I sit back and I listen to people and I never hear those names.
Yeah.
And these people was like
intricate in the building
every day, at the parties, influencers, all that.
But that's why we doing this, because some people need to have that knowledge that, some people was only there for a certain time period and they can only say what they was, interpret. So I'm glad we're here doing this today. So what DJs was influenced back in those days, and how important was the DJ back then for people to come out?
I think that it was very important, but it didn't just fall. Some people, okay. So my thing is that the DJ played a very intricate part in the landscape of whether I was going to a club or not. But you have to understand too is if the promoter, if the promoter continuously had good parties and brought along these great DJs, then you can kind of go off their name. But then on top, to double down on that, is that it was the crowd also.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to kind of split it up.
Here's the thing. Back then, it was more about the promoters.
There you go.
And the people that followed these promoters.
Okay.
Like, we had the Rude Boys.
Yeah, we started out with the first group.
Okay.
So
the Rude Boys.
If the Rude Boys was doing something,
it's going to be packed. So it didn't matter what DJ was on at that time. It's just the party of the promoter.
But that is where I'm going with that.
Okay.
The thing is that it followed along.
Exactly.
So if you knew that we were having something,
right?
You knew that the Farleys and the rest of the prominent DJs, Jesse Saunders, these guys are going to be playing music.
Right.
We're not going to have no off-brand guy that's guy that's coming. You're going to have a marquee DJ to play.
And if you did, that's because you had somebody up and coming that you wanted to put them on, and they were coming behind it or starting before these DJs,
right.
and people be like, "Man, who was that?" You know. Yeah. But to me, it was all important. The DJ thing didn't come back out until they stopped producing records and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, but as far as back then, it was more the people, you know, like Wayne Williams, they had the chosen few.
So the chosen few was back then.
And, yeah. And you knew, and here's another, they had Lloyd Branch and Craig Loftus, Vertigo. Right, you know, it's like, you know, these people, when they did something.
But that's what I was saying.
Right.
So here's they come out with the flyer, right?
Right.
And it says Vertigo. You already know. So here's the Rude Boys.
Right.
You already know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So here again is it is a package.
Right.
Of not okay. So the Rude Boys are having a party. We already know there's going to be a great party and good DJs. So I mean that's kind of where I was kind of alluding to.
Yeah. So going to the warehouse, Kevin. And I know you say you did because Hans didn't do that.
Right.
Were you as a dancer as a dancer perspective? Mm-hmm. Why was it so special then?
Okay, so that's a good question, actually. When I was going to Sawyer's in the Penthouse and listening to Andre Hatchett and Tony Hatchett,
right,
and all of these great DJs,
right?
The music was new to me, and I loved it. What the difference was at 206 was. You have to understand, Frankie was getting his music from Larry Levan in New York, so he was cutting music that was being sent to him from all over. Gotcha. So it expanded the catalog of music. So I was listening to the music that the same music that they were playing with the kids, but it expanded. And then the Richard Long sound system was in it itself just incredible.
Right.
And the lighting, he got into a more. Not just loud music. It was an experience that I had never. But I was so homophobic at the time that I wasn't listening. I was more or less kind of watching
and watching out for yourself.
Exactly. But my brother Craig went I didn't go the following week.
Okay.
And my brother did.
Okay.
And the short of the story is that he talked me into coming back, but this time kind of lowered the guards a little bit.
Right.
Listen.
Okay.
And we started going ever since.
So I'm glad you touched that. So Frankie Knuckles only played for a small crowd, like 200-300 people, yes, most of which were black gay men. Yes. Why do you think he was so influential with straight and gay black teens on the south side of Chicago?
Because he catered. Robert Williams. Okay, so Robert Williams was the person out front of it.
Architect.
Right. So the thing is that he catered. This is the niche that we were talking about of the things back when he first got here. There wasn't something of that magnitude for black LGBTQ individuals. And what he did is he gave them which there were other ones, but not at that magnitude, like a Studio 54 or Paradise Garage.
Right.
So what he did is he gave them this safe space. And on top of that, gave him the sound from New York.
Can I piggyback on that?
Go ahead, Hans.
Also, you had Butch and Craig Thompson.
Oh yeah, you got to mention them. Yeah.
Which
the playground.
They had the vision. Of we're not just gonna do the city.
Right.
We're gonna do the suburb.
Yeah.
So he had us on the bus.
Okay.
Going to the south suburb. West suburbs, Oak Park.
I remember that. Yeah,
flyers.
I remember that.
Yeah, we were hanging posters. Yeah. Remember with the wires? Posters with the wires.
We used to see him and take him down afterwards.
You could put him on top,
and put him and put him on where we was DJing at, just to have him there, be like, we gonna do this.
But just to add on to that, we have been, except being on the turntables,
right.
Hans and I have been in just about every aspect of parties, between giving them, promoting them, dancing at them,
right?
And just being just good people. It's kindred spirits with people,
right?
And we tended, we tended to just kind of do that. So,
yeah. So you guys partied during the punk out and preppy era.
Absolutely.
When do you remember people starting referring it to the music, the music identifying it as house?
When they start producing records.
Okay.
I don't get into who did it first.
Right.
I don't get into that because I wasn't in the studio with them.
Yeah.
You know, but to be honest with you, the first record I fell in love with, well, not even just record, just Jamie Principle.
Your Love.
Because that music, as me being a dancer, put me in the zone.
Right.
You know, it's certain music that I listen to because I love to dance.
Yes.
That just, and if it's consistent, it's almost like the Holy Ghost for me.
Right. Absolutely.
I just be gone.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the newer stuff, you know, like Jesse put out a record, Chip E put out a record, you know. So I don't know who did first.
Right.
But that's when that term started coming around.
Yeah.
One thing I don't, that house head thing, I don't like being called no house head.
That was a question I was about to ask you too. I know you guys are straight old school. So you don't like that term at all, house head?
To me, it's for the newer people.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, newer people meaning what generation is that? Second generation. Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be second?
Yeah.
Or third?
Well, you got the people that was partying at warehouse on Randolph and Halsted. They consider themselves house heads.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah, they do.
So, what would you call yourself before that? I mean, what would you call yourself then?
We just party.
Yeah, just party.
Yeah, pretty much. There wasn't a name.
We didn't have no term.
Okay.
You know.
So, I mean, some of the interviews you heard before, people was like, yeah, we didn't say house head. We said we was jackers.
No. Jackers is people that jump up and down.
Exactly.
Okay.
I've never been a jacker. I like to get close to a female and groove.
Absolutely, brother. So, I got you.
Yeah, so, no.
So, on that same tip, the debate continues. If you were in court and your freedom depended on it, how do you remember House getting his name, and back it up with facts, please?
To me, it was in memory of the warehouse.
Okay.
You know, because that the music that, like, so the warehouse was before the music box. And so to me, in memory of when the warehouse closed down, the music that was started being played commercially was in memory of the warehouse. Because a lot of the music that they started playing, a lot of these DJs wasn't playing that until, you know, the warehouse closed down. So it was like, man, I don't know who started the term, but, you know, that's where the term house came from.
Kevin, do you agree with that?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, so you're talking about the term, right?
I am talking about the term house music from the kids who made it in Chicago.
A lot of people were getting their influences. They would kind of getting influence from music that Frankie was playing, and then disseminating that in the clubs, not to the just a small portion of it.
Yeah.
So
so let me back up. Wayne Williams of the Chosen Few.
Yeah.
He said that the term came because people was playing their disco music in their homes, in their basements, and they was like, "Oh, that's the house music you playing in the house and everything like that." Do you agree with that?
No,
I do not. Okay. I mean, I'm 61 years old.
Yeah.
I was
up
sets.
Against,
I was up against, you know, having the girls up against the wall and doing the grind and stuff like that. But I never heard that term
ever
to identify with it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was the written cue cards. Sets. One house.
That's what it was back in the day.
Yeah.
So we talked about DJs a little. I'm going to name some DJs and you tell me how and when did they come important on the scene. Okay. So Wayne Williams.
That's grandfather.
Pioneer.
That's grandfather.
Okay. Anything else to add on that?
I mean, Wayne is like my brother. You know, so sometimes we agree to disagree, but got much love.
Okay.
Same here.
Next person, Jesse Saunders.
Another pioneer. Mm-hmm. Okay. You're probably going to group these guys that were prominent in the beginning, but go ahead.
Correct. Tony Hatchett.
Now, I heard Tony before I heard anybody.
Okay.
At the Loft.
That's okay.
So I he's with that group, but I kind of hold him
a little above that.
Yeah, and again, it is only because he was my influence.
Okay. So let's go with Steve Hurley.
I didn't. Well, he came later.
No, Steve didn't come later.
Well, that's
believe it or not, I met Steve. Hell, I think I might have been a freshman in high school.
Okay.
It was a young lady that used to throw parties on 82nd and Chappelle.
Okay.
and it was a basement party, a set.
There we go.
Not a house party, but a set. Right.
That's what it was, but that was what it was called.
Steve was the DJ, and I met Steve there.
Right.
So Steve been DJing for a long time.
Absolutely.
See, you understand what he said. He said at a house party.
At
a home party.
Right.
Or whatever
Which was a house,
set.
right. Exactly.
Right.
It's not house music party, but a house party, right.
Yeah.
So let's go to Lil Lewis.
No.
Lil Lewis been DJing for. I met Lil Lewis.
That's afterwards then.
Let me say this, Hans. What you have to understand is my dynamic. My dynamic is different from his.
Okay.
What happens is that we were running on the same parallel.
Right.
And then what happens is that I left and never came back.
Right.
I went to 206 and then started working at the power plant.
Okay.
Hans stayed in that vein. And then what happens is that he was more prevalent to some of these DJs. That's why where he says, yeah, he was, and then I can say no. Yeah, because of that. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify.
No, that's good. The Hot Mix 5
radio,
just radio.
That Farley was, but
Farley,
you didn't say Farley because he was another guy that was very popular back
right?
then.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ron Hardy.
Oh, well.
That's
you put him on the same pedestal as almost Frankie.
I'll put it this way: Ron Hardy took the music Frankie was playing,
right,
and did like. That was the first person I heard do the train, the baby cry, the things like that. Well, my name is Bessie Smith. And he just used to beat it. So it was like they said, Ron Hardy was Frankie on steroids.
Right.
When Ron Hardy, when Frankie and Robert split,
right.
When Frankie got the power plant, Robert got picked up Ron Hardy.
Okay.
And at 16th in Indiana, he mimicked Frankie to the T.
Wow.
His playing style.
Right,
but you have to understand, I would sit there at the power plant and watch Frankie mentor Andre Hatchett,
right.
Craig Loftus, all of these guys that are wonderful DJs.
You can pretty much tell who Frankie mentored.
Right. Yeah. But see, now, when he, at 16th in Indiana, I think Robert had a conversation with him,
right.
God rest his soul, and said, hey, you have to mimic yourself. Right. You have to, not mimic Frankie, but play to put your own name out there. And when he got down to the music box, they say Frankie would soothe you, and Ron Hardy would beat you to death.
Wow. Yeah. So you guys, been on the scene quite a while. Name some DJs that don't get the recognition as they should, or who you think that don't get the recognition as they should.
And that would probably be
here's the thing: you got some DJs like which. I still throw parties every now and then.
Okay.
And I use these DJs. Like Reg McClain.
Okay.
Emmanuel, DJ Emmanuel.
Okay.
Correct. I'm sorry, yes. What about Izubuku?
Mike Izubuku.
Yeah.
Hugo doesn't get the
Hugo H.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a hell of a DJ.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell of a DJ.
Yeah.
And but those probably the DJs I think that don't get, even Craig Loftus don't get, because Craig.
Yeah, when he gets in that space,
Andre, he's the most talented DJ I've ever met.
Okay.
Yeah. Music-wise, mix.
Right.
Andre could sit there and he knew how a lot of people slam?
Yeah.
Andre played records that blended in with each other flawlessly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah.
And he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Okay. I agree with you on 100%, brother. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So
he was part of the group where you had your crate of records, and you had to play a song, but know what everything that was in that crate, to be able to. It wasn't by play music by numbers,
right?
By beats per minute,
right?
It was having a knowledge,
having the ear
of having a knowledge of what you had in there and what would go with that song,
right?
And play for the crowd, to see, watch more or less like watch this. Wait till I play this one and watch how the crowd responds.
Get out of here. So Kevin, let's go back to that. You started working at the power plant.
Yes.
What was your role, and then what was different from the power plant and then the warehouse?
Oh, good question. The difference between the warehouse and the power plant, the construction was the same. It was a brick building, which encapsulated the sound.
Okay.
Another thing was the shape of the building. The warehouse was more narrow. It was 2 levels and narrow, which the power plant was more wider and more space to maybe get away and maybe talk to people and stuff like that, which you had the second floor with the warehouse too.
Right.
The other differences was
the crowd.
Yeah, well, okay. So what happens is that when they split up, the dynamic changed, because at the warehouse you had probably a 90-10 or an 80 more 85 gay,
90-10.
And then when they split up, some of the gay community went with Robert.
Okay.
But then the dynamic changed to the power plant, which was like maybe about almost 50-50, or maybe more 65 or 65, and but the dynamic had shifted a little.
Right.
And so what did I do? So I met Frankie at the gallery, and that was in between the warehouse and the power plant.
Okay.
So they had a place over on Michigan Avenue, and Andre Hatchett introduced me to Frankie.
Right.
And we had a quick conversation because he was playing records. And then I saw him at another party, and he says, "I'm opening up 10:15. Would you like to work there?" And I didn't have a job at the time, so I said absolutely. And my first job there was collecting the money, and then in turn I ended up on the dance floor, in between the dance floor and the back area where people, the restrooms were, and the little sitting lounge.
You used to guide the line too.
Sometime I had a few jobs. Yeah.
Right.
And I
remember Kevin talking, "Come on, huh?"
Right. So Hans, what was your experience at the power plant, brother?
Oh, I was a dancer.
Okay.
From the time it opened to the time it closed.
Really? So what record? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Elaborate.
No, I mean, like I have some of my favorites.
Okay.
Like "Love Is a Message" is bar none my favorite record of all time.
That's what I was going to ask you. What about the music?
And so I told Kevin, because I'm from Haiti.
Right.
When I first came to the United States, they had a gym show in my grammar school.
Okay.
That's how old that record is.
Wow.
And "Love Is a Message" was the theme song that they played when the people was coming out for the gym show.
Okay.
And I was like, man, that's a beautiful song.
Internally by that song.
And so the crazy thing is that I never heard the song again.
Okay.
Until the power plant.
Right.
I heard that song, and in my head, I was like, that's that song.
Right.
And it's so long, and Frankie used to beat it.
Right.
And I just lost it. You got the records I like is like heavy vibe, things.
Yeah,
I like
that's
smooth
my
records that
right.
you can just groove.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a jacker.
Okay.
I like to make a woman feel
right
me when I'm dancing.
All right, Hans. I know where you're going.
So those, if you want to know the records that I like, those type of records.
Yeah.
And that's why, like even what's the song Terry got? Because it's smooth. I love that song. Mm-hmm. Although it's a newer song, people think I hate new music.
That's self-love?
Yeah. People think I hate new music. Yeah. I don't.
Right.
I like music that moves me.
Okay.
So
it can be new just as long as it moves you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel that.
Okay, let me just
go ahead, Kevin.
Touch on that just a tad.
Yes, sir.
So what Frankie did was he manipulated the song and took the height of the song and moved it further.
Right.
Okay. So there's always a break in a song. Can we say yes. That's true, right?
That is true. Yes.
What he would do is that I watched him, and I saw other people watching him how he did it. No one was doing it at that time.
Okay.
And what he would do is he would turn. Obviously, turn the bass down. It's not like what they're doing now. To me, it disturbs me because they turn. There's intricate parts of songs that need to be heightened and all. It's the new crowd. If they like it, I love it. If they love it, it's good.
You just can't.
I had my time.
Absolutely.
So, but the thing is that I wish that some of these individuals were able to listen to kind of this master at it. And what he would do is just kind of bring color to colorless. And I would listen to the song. I remember listening to an particular song at Sawyer's and then listening to the same song at the warehouse. And there were different things that I would hear. And yes. And then this heighten of the break in the song just kind of made you just lose it. So it was a wonderful time there.
And like I said, it's consistency also. You know, you have a lot of DJs now, they'll play something you like, then they play something off the wall where it just totally break your mood.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, where's the consistency?
Right.
You know, and that's what I look for. If I'm out, which I don't go to every party anymore, but when I come out, I really want to dance.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they see me, they say, well, I know you're not feeling it because you're not dancing. Even at my age, I love to dance.
Yeah. So pause, right? You say you don't come out as much. Is it because you're working or you just don't like what's going on right now? Elaborate on that.
Really, work doesn't even, because I don't drink or anything. It's really because I don't like what's going on right now.
Okay, well, elaborate that. What's wrong with the scene right now?
To me, everybody try to go away from what made this movement.
Okay, elaborate, brother.
You know, it's like, I hate that. Oh, you keep listening to the same thing all these years. Guess what? If your grandparents had a party, they don't want to hear that new stuff all night. They might want to hear some of it, but they want to move to what made them enjoy.
Absolutely. I think you have to balance it out.
Exactly.
Because if you don't play the new music don't become classics.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
And here's the thing. Every DJ think just because it's new, it's a cut.
Correct.
Like Wayne and I had a discussion.
Okay.
I don't care when a cut come out. A cut is a cut.
Right.
No matter when it came out. It could have came out in 60-something. It could have came out tomorrow.
Right.
If it's a cut, it's a cut.
Yeah.
All that stuff is not
good.
Okay.
No, we know everything's that out there is not good.
Yeah, but
you know,
for them, a lot of DJs try to force feed it. And to me, as a dancer, I listen to some of the stuff the DJs play. I said, how they think this really gonna move you? Okay. And I see, even till this day,
right,
a DJ can play a whole lot of new music.
Yeah.
It might be 2 or 3 people out there. Then they play a cut from back in the day, and the floor gets
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me. Okay. So the old music was influenced by the 70s. Music was a power and love type of movement back there, and it filtered into the music that was being made. One.
Right.
2 is that these individuals have to understand that it's not just music.
Yeah.
Okay. It invokes a time and a place where everything was wonderful. There was no hen fighting and all that kind of stuff. Just everybody came together and just had a wonderful time. And I have to smile because every time I think about it and put myself in that space, it was just a wonderful time.
Yeah.
And so the thing about it is that when we hear a song, it is the song, because if you think about most of that music that was being played back then,
right,
love was interjected into a lot of those songs.
Absolutely.
So they're positive songs that take us back to a space when then it was
Kevin, I know I agree with you that, but I understand you guys' perspective, but as a
wait, let me say this one last thing. The new music is I don't particularly like it. I told Frankie that, God rest his soul, when he was alive. I had a chance to talk to him. But the thing is that he told me that he had to move forward because the music back then was new. But one more thing is that I lost my track.
No, go ahead.
But it's just the fact that, you know, it's tracky to me. It's just not. It doesn't have the heart and soul of it, and it's okay. You know what I mean? I understand that you have to move on with the music, and that's fine.
Right.
So
now, can I say something?
Absolutely.
You as a producer,
yes.
Okay. So, like, I go out a lot of new music. And to me, that's why a lot of DJs like the newer music, because it's easier to mix. Because everything is like, sometimes you don't even know that the record changed.
Oh, absolutely.
So you as a producer,
yes,
I want to ask you this.
Okay.
I would like to see you produce something with the beat from back in the day, but something new. You know, where it's got breaks, it's got, you know what I'm saying?
So something live feel.
Exactly.
And then it breaks down.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think, Hans, there's some records out there that does that.
Yeah,
not many. Not many.
It's some out there. It's just I think it's a new generation, brother. So I feel what you're saying. And I think that's why a lot of people love the Chosen Few picnic too, because it's like a reunion.
Yeah.
They come together, they get to hear the songs that were played back in the day. They get the admiration, like, okay, I heard this when I was at the warehouse, Power Plant, Music Box, Sawyer's, or anything like that. Then you get some of the new stuff for the people that wants to hear the new stuff. So I'm on both sides because I understand what you're saying. It's like you want to. It's a lot of times a lot of people want to relive the moment of what they lived through and what they went through, and I get that. But then we have to make sure that this grows.
I get it.
And go to another level so it can get to where it was before. So
did you hear, what I asked you was the beat. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's not many because I have an ear for music.
No, I get you.
So
I get you.
And it's another thing, like you had mentioned about, that's because I'm bringing it up because it almost slipped my mind.
Okay.
You had mentioned as far as people getting credit for the house,
Yes.
And so I had met a couple.
Okay.
And they was funny because I think he's Palestinian or something like that.
Okay.
But he asked me, do I know house music?
Right.
And I laughed at him.
Okay.
And I said, would you like house music? He's like, yeah. So I got to naming people. He's like, never heard of.
Wow.
And I said, really? I said, so what type of house music do you listen to?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So to him, I guess a lot of stuff they play on the north side.
Like what? Give me an example.
He didn't give me any.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But to me, because he didn't know none of these DJs, how can you be into house music when I'm naming a lot of DJs that's intricate into that movement, and you don't know any of them? So who have you been listening to?
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's the education of people. I think now a lot of people don't go back into the history or hear anything.
That's what
you guys
that's what
coming
I
up
was to.
Was there from the beginning and embraced it and really understand the true essence of it. So if a person is a little younger that comes into this genre, and then they're going to be allocated to just that era.
That's correct.
And be like, okay, cool, I like this. And they don't want to go back and hear anything else. But they just need to be educated. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
I tried to invite them to come out to the picnic.
Yeah.
Well, you put forth the perfect platform.
Yes. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I try, like I say, I mean, it was crazy because, at the picnic, a lot of people came, but was like, I love what you're doing. And it feels great because, I do this for the culture because I love it, brother. Mm-hmm. This is me, and this is going to be me until the day I die.
No, that's right.
And, it put my daughter through college, this house music thing. So it's just like, this is what I do for the love of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I want us to tell our story and not from anybody else. Well, somebody said this, somebody said that.
Right.
They can go back to this, rewind it, play it again, and it's coming from the horse's mouth.
There was a conversation that we were having.
Yes.
And there are a lot, I call it moving the needle back.
Okay.
Because if you do the math with some of these individuals, they were too young to come out to the parties. If you really want to do the math as far as when these parties were going on and the age that they are. The thing about it is I tell people to just tell your truth.
Right.
Yes.
And the thing, you have to understand that it was so powerful back then that people would want to associate themselves with that time,
right?
Because of the of what they've heard of it,
right?
And I told someone, I says, speak your truth, and one day you'll be sitting behind a microphone telling them about your start to finish.
Absolutely.
So everybody has a story, to tell.
Yes.
So tell your story,
right? Yeah. And don't tell nobody else.
Honest, Don't
be like, what so-and-so did this. Just talk from your experience and your perspective.
Can't nobody tell you about your journey.
There.
Yeah.
They try to put themselves there.
Yeah.
When they should put themselves where they started.
Right.
Say that again, Hans. Preach, man. You preaching on this Sunday, man. Go ahead and say that.
That's all it is. It's funny. Like, even, that this funny. So, Chip E.
Okay.
I said, Chip E., do you really know who I am? He said, yeah, you was a kid passing out flyers to get in parties for free.
Oh.
Wayne got on him.
Right.
I got on him.
Right.
So he inboxed me at Facebook, was like, well, why did you embarrass me? I said, you embarrassed yourself.
Right.
Because you thought I was somebody that passed out flyers to get in parties for free.
Right.
When you actually coming to my parties.
Oh, wow. Okay, what did he say after that?
Maybe he educated himself.
There you go.
I think after that fiasco, I don't even think we're friends on Facebook anymore. Because I haven't seen, I think, because Chip was tripping.
Isn't that is shameful?
It is.
Let's hypothetically say, Hans, if that happens, then he goes back and finds out about Hans and then comes back and says, hey, man, I apologize.
That's all you
know
have
what
to
I
do.
mean. I see what you were doing, the building blocks that you
absolutely.
So but I don't.
I mean, the thing is, everybody don't know each other back in the day because
he knows me. He didn't know me. He knows me, but he didn't know me.
He didn't know you. You're right.
Even when he was doing his thing, he had me come downtown,
right.
And he totally cut everything I said out. Cut me out completely.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when he was doing the DVD, whatever.
Right, his documentary.
Yeah,
right.
He cut me out completely.
Wow, at least you got in there, though.
That was a waste of my time.
Wow. Well, I mean, people had to educate themselves, Hans. So, it's hard, brother. But that's why we're here now. So people know your story and Kevin's story so we can move forward on this.
Yes.
So let me ask you, how do you feel about the growth of house music right now around the world?
Wonderful. It's a great thing. I love it. I love to see different ethnicities.
Yeah.
And the culture, and I love it. I just like seeing that, and then especially with something there's no drama,
right?
As far as
you
have events and everybody's just enjoying the event.
Yeah,
there's
true.
Such and such shut up the chosen. None of that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's something that and also it's the music. The music puts you in a different mindset.
Yes, it does.
Because it's love. It's totally different.
Yeah.
You like I said, I can't even explain. But
no, I feel what you're saying. Though.
So
I get you.
It's just that's one of the best things that ever happened.
Kevin.
Well, I mean, it's not much else I can say. I agreed with everything he says, man. I think that it was built on love,
right,
and friendship.
Yeah, absolutely,
and making your extended families, and I just think that it expanded through. Back then you didn't have the reach that you do now have. You have now, but you had guys that were going out and venturing out into different countries and introducing people to this genre of music. And they took. I mean, why not? People just take to it like a moth to a flame, right?
Yeah.
And I just truly think that it is a wonderful state, and it's sometimes it's bigger out in other countries.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Than it is here.
Yeah.
Well, that's also, it's sad that it is bigger in other countries, because that's the one problem I have with here. Is the way we used to all come together and do things collectively.
Yeah.
It's so much separation here.
Yes.
And to me, it's so much money to be made in this movement and scene here that it shouldn't have to go overseas to succeed.
Right.
I mean, it's successful here, but everybody's not eating.
Yeah.
I've always been the one, if I eat, you eat.
Right.
If
absolutely.
we, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not like that. It's like mine.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Everybody should be collectively that built this.
Right.
Still should be collectively involved.
Pushing it forward.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that's more of today than it was back in the past?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what I want to.
Back in the day, we used to communicate. Like if somebody was having a party one night, like we're gonna do it the next night. Things like that. Yeah. Now it's 50 parties the same night.
Right, and they trying to outdo all of them.
And they all want to do the same thing.
It's nefarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here is the negative side.
Right.
Of it. So
yeah.
Like I'm not gonna say no name, but Wayne and I had a party. One of our close friends had somebody come spray mace at our party.
Get out of here. The stories, y'all. The stories. Kevin looking like, oh, don't say nothing now.
I'm trying to keep it on the positive. I'm not giving no names.
I'm just letting you know the things that goes on. That should.
Yeah, that's correct.
That
Absolutely.
should.
Yeah.
So right now, what DJ stands out to you right now, y'all?
I like DJ Emmanuel for the fact that he just transports me back to the space. Okay, so again, people have to understand that I know where we are as far as the new music is concerned, and that's fine. I've partied enough for a whole lot, a generation of these new kids.
Yeah.
So it's just time for me to move on.
Okay.
And I'll relish in the memories,
right, in the memories,
right. And if I get a DJ that is passionate about that genre of music, then I can go there and I can get into a space. I can close my eyes and dance and transport myself into a place where things were I keep saying wonderful.
Back down memory lane.
Yeah. And it does. You should see us two dance if a song that comes on that was, just invokes something in you.
Touch your soul at the time. So it just brings you back to your kids' days.
So it's okay. I know I've had my time. And so Emmanuel, but there's not too many that, Reggie Corner says, Kev, you got to come out. A lot of guys tell me, you got to come out and just listen. Yeah. And I did. I don't come with a negative energy.
Right. You open-minded.
Thinking that I'm not going to like it. Right. So I sit at the bar.
Right.
And I'm seeing the kids enjoying it, and that's great. But it's not, something has to move me.
Yeah.
Even new music. Now, I would say in a span of maybe 3 hours, I would hear maybe 1 or 2 songs.
Right.
And it's not worth me coming there to hear 1 or 2 songs that I was like, oh wow, that's nice.
But Kevin, I mean, it could be the same way as you was working at the power plant. It was new music.
I did some Frankie played I didn't like.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite.
Okay. Right.
But I would say the vast majority of the songs that he was playing, Frankie would take you on this journey. Okay. So he would start out slow, like taking off of a plane. But then once he reached the pinnacle of the party, he would drop it back down again.
Exactly.
And then take you back up. And then at the end of the night, when the light was coming in through the cracks of the window, he would play Say Goodbye by just a really low tempo song saying, Thanks for coming, and have a wonderful day. And I would see in the dark, the light coming in the darkness, people. It wouldn't be that many people, but they'd be dancing, swirling around and stuff like that. I'd start cleaning up the club. It was just very memorable moments. But as far as the DJs are concerned, that's one. I apologize if I'm not.
No, that's good. That's your truth. That's your truth. Hans, what about you?
Ask that question again.
I said, what DJ stands out to you as of now?
Well, once again, I would say Emmanuel, Craig Loftus, Reg McClain.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, these DJs, they play the new music also.
Right.
What gets me is that I like a lot of DJs.
Yeah.
But these are the DJs that move me.
Okay. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And the crazy thing is, I know all these DJs have that talent. But they wanna go with the new movement.
Right.
Which I don't mind that.
Right.
But the thing is, once again, I don't come out like I used to.
Yeah.
And as far as people like, man, you should learn the new music. Yeah, I was 16, 17. Back then, I had time to come out and...
Right, now you don't.
I'm not trying... You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be the party guy.
Right, understandable. You did that back in the day.
Exactly.
Now it's a different era right now for you.
Right. And so...
Different journey in your life, we should say.
Exactly. Yeah. And, like I said, I like stuff that smooth.
Yeah. That's good.
Everybody, I even come out and it looked like a robot because everybody's programmed because they're hearing the music and everybody doing the same little dance. Yeah. And I'm like,
they weren't dancing like that, right?
That's what the beat put program in their head.
Yeah.
And it doesn't program me like that.
Okay.
Until I hear something where I can do different moves, you know, that's what I like. I'm not about to, because everything the same speed, I can't break my dance down. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying now, yeah.
You know,
as a dancer, I understand
exactly.
that.
I can't break my dance. I can't switch up. Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, the beat.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and that's what I enjoy doing.
Okay.
You know, I enjoy busting different moves. Like he said, Frankie, take you on the hot take, and you could just, you know, sometimes you getting off, and then you just smooth.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I look for.
So standing right there, brothers, I want both of you guys give me 5 songs that were important to the house culture that you think. So y'all can do 2 and 2 and then agree on one.
See, I don't know the names of the songs. I can kind of give
you. Just sing it out, Kevin. They get it, man.
Was it 77?
No, he talking about the house culture. So he talking about like
just to move the whole house culture, the way we dress, the way we dance, the way we act, the whole vibe of the party and everything. Just the 5 songs that was like, oh my goodness.
On a high, I'm looking for loving.
Okay.
Right. I used to Beat the Street was a good song.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, if you really listen to the song, there's a message. It's not just a good song.
Yeah.
There's a message behind it.
Beat the Street.
Yeah. There was D-Train, Keep On.
Okay.
I mean, here it is. I'm telling you again about this song.
First Mistake,
Yeah. You got The Love I Lost.
Yeah.
You know, once again, love is a message.
Yeah.
Heavy vibe.
That's good.
Chaz Janko, glad to know you. I mean, it's so many. Right. You know, so
no, that's good. I mean, like I said, your perspective, your truth, and that's all I need, because that gives a people a mark of where the music started from and where it's coming to now.
Absolutely.
You know, and like you said, Hans, I think it's a journey where, some of us. We did all that already, and all this music is not going to appeal to everybody.
That is correct.
You know,
and that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right.
It's like you said, Kevin. You sat there a couple of times. You tried. At least you tried it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key right there. At least you tried it.
Sure.
And you may hear something that's new, that sound old. You be like, oh, I really like that joint.
Like Jamie came to Renaissance,
right?
And Reg came.
Jamie
and said,
326.
You say you don't like new music. I see you dance. Yeah, because some of the stuff he played moved me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if it moves me, I'm going to dance.
That's right. There you go.
Know,
and that's how it's supposed to
be.
Yeah.
Right.
So, brothers, is there anything else we need to get out there so people would know about our story, man, and our culture?
It's just that we love growing up in that era.
Yeah.
And you know, making friends, meeting new people, like, you know, just... You know, that area is unspoken. You know, it's unspoken for, because even with like I was telling Kevin, you know, the Chosen Few picnic, when I get out there, I see so many people I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
And we still showing love and, you know, respect, you know, and this and that. Because, you know, like Kevin and I'm sure he gets it also. He'd be like, man, this because of you, you know, all the, you know, everybody don't do that.
Yeah.
You know,
no, that's true.
Because a lot of people don't even know about me and Kevin.
Right.
You know, just like Wayne told you to call me.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like...
It was Wayne and Farley too, because he was like, you got a lot of history in this. Yeah. And I was like, let's do this, because it's not all about the DJs. Yeah, it's not all about the producers.
No, it's a collective.
It's a collective. That's right, Kevin. And that's why I want to get everybody perspective, because somebody that you party with and came to your parties got a different perspective of what you have. And I want to hear that story, because, like you said, everything comes together. And that's what is created this scene we call house music.
Like, you probably don't even know, you know, but Kevin had went to, like, they named a dance that I'm, you know, I had a dance name after me.
No, so let's elaborate on that.
You know,
what's
it was called the Hans, you know, it was, you know, because I used to go out and people would actually watch me.
Right.
And whatever I would do,
right,
that's what everybody started doing. you know.
There you go,
so it was like,
and they probably out there doing it right now. They don't even know.
Yeah,
see, they don't know where it came from. So we got to do a video you doing that dance then.
I'll say I just hope that they push the narrative forward.
Okay.
I do think, just to kind of piggyback off of that, is people are kind of drawn to if we're on a dance floor and we're having a good time. Right. It seems like everybody starts to migrate. You know how the floor can be empty and then you get a couple people out, then other people say, "Wow, that's come on, let's." But I just go to what you said, is that I just wish that we come together a little bit more, and with that, with the putting the love back into the fold, and respecting each other, that we can push the narrative forward, and maybe get back on the platform of where we had it back in the day. Now, not to say that there wasn't little wrinkles and stuff like that, but it's not at this magnitude right now. I mean, I wish that the Chosen Few would have did something at Craig Loftus's space. He has a wonderful space, beautiful sound system. Yes, I think it would have been an easy transition just to have maybe one of the after parties or something like that at that spot. So, maybe he was just overlooked by mistake or something like that. Oh,
maybe they'll see this next time and be like, listen.
Well, speaking of that,
let's go ahead and do that.
I think I'm going to do something at Craig's spot real soon.
Okay.
Try to get people involved and get people to his place, because that place right there, it will remind you of the power plant. Okay. When the music get going, the right crowd,
right.
There's a birthday party going, you're going away party.
Yeah. I did a going away party and his birthday party. We combined it, and man, we had a wonderful time.
Oh man,
we had people to come out. I think
from out of town and everything.
Yeah. So it was a wonderful evening, and we brought out a lot of people came out there from the old days, which just warmed my heart, man. Yeah. So it was a great time.
But that's good, brother. Yeah. Well, brothers, I'm glad you guys on the show. Thank you for coming out, man, and doing this for me, man. I think there's a lot of information people gonna get from this, man. Mm-hmm. And I love you guys, man. And remember, just watch everything house music and more now. And anything else you got to say before we end this, y'all?
Appreciate you having us.
Yes, sir.
And keep it going, because this is great what you're doing.
I appreciate that, Hans.
And another thing is that, as Hans said, the individuals that are not getting their due, maybe you can reach out to some of them.
Yes.
And push the narrative forward.
I'm always reaching out, and they always got my number, man. So they know where we at. So I'm always trying to get more information about this, because, like you said, it's not just a few people that created this.
Oh no,
it's a combination of a lot of people, north side, south side, suburbs, everything. So that's what I'm trying to do, to reach out to people, man, and get this information out there.
Sure.
All right, brother.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it, Hans. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. This is what we do, man. You know how we got to do.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for coming in and doing this, man. I love y'all, and enjoy y'all day, brother.
Love you back.
You do the same, man.
Sir.
Peace out.